Hello everyone, I am JR Dukes with JRDukes.com. I am your advice guru, your relationship expert, and I am here to help you live your best life starting today. I appreciate you being with me. Today's subject, I'm going to give you some motivation. We're going to talk about the fact that we're starting a brand new year, and we're going to talk about the joys of owning your own business, and some of you may be on the fence as to whether or not you should go ahead and work for someone or go ahead and take the plunge and start your own business. So we're going to get right into it. Make sure that you stick around to the end of the video, and I will make sure that I give you my contact information. So if you have a question, or if you need advice, or frankly if you just want to make a comment directly to me, I'll give you my contact information so you can reach out to me directly. I'm always happy to hear from you. Also, if you find this video to be of use to you, please hit the like button below and be sure to subscribe so that any content I do put out, you can be notified right away. I do appreciate it, because today I want to talk about motivation. I want to talk about whether or not you should be in business for yourself or whether it's better to just simply work for someone else, because this may help you decide as to whether or not you should be in your own business or not in your own business. My father, at the time we were living in Chicago, worked for many years for a trucking company called McLean Trucking Company. And I don't know exactly how many years he was working there, but it was quite some time. And this is back like around 1979, 1980. He was making pretty good pay for a hourly type of job. Well, when he made the decision to go into business for himself and he decided that he was going to move to Houston and start his own business, he had a lot of pushback. A lot of people were telling him, hey, you need not to do that. You have a family, you have children. It's very risky, is what they kept telling my father. It's something that you should not do because you might lose your ability to take care of your family, and you have to put your family first. I could imagine looking back that this had to be very difficult for my father, and it had to be a very trying time for him, to put it bluntly. The irony is that he did go ahead and move to Houston, and he started his own business, and he did very well for himself. My parents both worked together, and they made a good team, and they made a thriving business. The irony here is that this so-called safe job that he had at McLean Trucking Company wasn't that safe after all. What ended up happening was that McLean Trucking Company actually went out of business. I think it was 1985, 1986. And by that time frame, my parents were doing very well for themselves in their own heating and air conditioning businesses. They were both very prosperous and making very good money, doing their own thing, being an entrepreneur, doing their own business activity. I will tell you, looking back, that it was shocking for my father when McLean's actually went out of business. He would probably deny it if you asked him, but I clearly remember he definitely looked shocked, to put it mildly, as far as his reaction to McLean's actually going out of business. The reason I'm sharing this story with you is everybody kept telling my father, don't leave Chicago, don't go to Houston, don't step out on that branch, do not take that risk. You have a family, you have kids. Pretty well everybody was telling him not to do it. But my father believed in himself, believed in his ability. He studied very hard. He learned the HVAC, the air conditioning trade, very well. And he said, I'm going to make this happen. And of course, in hindsight, I'm very glad that he did move to Houston, and he did go into business for himself, of course, with my mother. What I will tell you is this so-called safe job turned out not to be that safe at all. Had he not left Chicago, he would have more than likely continued working for McLean Trucking Company. And guess what? McLean Trucking Company, as I just said, went out of business. So he would have been 40-some years old and without a job. That is a tough spot to be in. The truth is this, my friends. When you are working for someone else, there is no such thing as security. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always jobs that are an exception, like if you're a high-paid executive at a Fortune 500 company and you're literally at the top of that pyramid, well, that might be an exception. That's a pretty good job, and you might be very well to simply stay with that type of a position. But them jobs are few and far between. I'm telling you, my entire life I have worked in one business or another of my own, and I have no regrets for doing so. It has been one of the best experiences that I can tell you any person can have, and it has worked out very favorably and very well for me. I highly encourage anybody that is thinking about starting their own business to do their research, check into it, and get moving, get started. You should not delay the decision of going into your own business. There is no security in this world. Do not kid yourself. There's no such thing as security. And I would rather be working in a company of my own, controlling my own destiny, controlling my own future, controlling my own days, day to day, than I would having somebody telling me what to do every day, where to go every day. It's just something that, frankly, I can't even phantom doing, where I got some other person that is literally controlling my future. If that person had a bad evening, I can lose my job. If that particular person was sick, didn't feel well, got a fart caught crooked, whatever, he didn't get loving the night before, I could come into work, he could be in a bad mood, and I could be without a job. You have to think about that. You have to honestly realize that that's a reality in today's world. Don't put yourself in that situation. Always find yourself something to do in this world. Carve yourself out your own niche in this world. Find something that you're good at. Find something that you enjoy doing. Find something that you have a knack for. Find something that you have natural knowledge, a natural inclination, something. Find it, study it, and do it. Do not keep saying tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Please do not do that. That's what you call, what do they call that? Analysis paralysis. Do not be a victim of that. Your life is your life. You're controlling your own future if you put yourself in the pilot seat. You do not want to leave that up to another human being. I've told people countless times, you are so much better off in this life if you're working in your own vineyard. For the young folks out there that are not sure what a vineyard is, I'm basically referring to a garden of some kind. You are much better off in your own vineyard. You're much better off working your own soil, planting your own crops, reaping what you harvest. I have never seen anybody, again, with very few exceptions, that has ever become wealthy, has ever become what I call financially independent, working for another human being. It simply does not work that way. You do not want to be in a situation working in someone else's vineyard. You want to work in your own vineyard. Even for less money, it is so much more mentally, physically, spiritually liberating to do your own thing on your own standards. Doing your own thing when you want to do it the way you think it should be done. Trust me on this. If you think you have it in you, and trust me, most of you have it in you. And if you don't have it in you, put it in you. You can learn anything you want to learn nowadays. We live in a fantastic world right now. There is information everywhere. You're watching me now on YouTube. I mean, really, it's that easy nowadays, folks. All you got to do is type in anything you want to learn into YouTube or into Google, and then hit the enter button, and boom, it comes up. Trust me, try it. Anything you want to learn, anything you want to do, somebody has already figured it out. Somebody has already left you a roadmap. Put in the work, get off your backside, and get moving. We live in the wealthiest country in the world. We are the most prosperous nation that has ever been on the face of this planet. And most of us, we just simply sit on the sofa in the evening time. Instead of taking time to better our lives, instead of taking time to become educated, instead of learning something new, we simply sit on our rear ends on the couch watching TV, just kind of vegging, kind of doing nothing. What a waste of your life. You only have one life, and it's going to be up to you to make things change in your life. I will tell you this as straight as I know how to tell you. There is no one coming to rescue you. There is no knight of shining armor coming to rescue you ladies out there. There is no Superman coming to rescue you gentlemen out there. There is no someone that's just going to give you an opportunity. You have to get up. You have to wake up. You have to shake yourself up. And you have to make things happen. It's your life, and it's totally up to you. And I'm telling you, you can do it. I've done it my entire life, starting out shoveling snow at 8 years old. Then I went into my own little lawn business at 12 years old. I was actually hiring kids in Houston, Texas to cut someone's lawn for, say, $12. I would show up, inspect the work, make sure it's done correctly, pocket $2 in my pocket, and then pay them $10 after the customer paid me. I mean, it's just what I've always done naturally in my life. Even when I got out of high school and then I started college, I actually took myself out of college and I started into the heating and air business. At the time, everybody told me, "Oh, you're making a mistake. This is terrible. What a terrible decision." Well, I wouldn't listen to them. I knew what I wanted to do. I had access to some funds, and instead of quote unquote investing those funds into an education that in my opinion was going to be absolutely worthless, I went ahead and invested it into businesses. I invested it into infrastructure, into assets, into something that would start making me money. And that's what I did, and that's why I have been successful my entire life. If it's as simple as this, if I'm going to make a mistake, if I'm going to fail, it's not going to be because someone laid me off. It ain't going to be because McLean Trucking Company went out of business. It ain't going to be because somebody got divorced. It ain't going to be because I got fired or some other catastrophe out of my control happened. It's going to be because I made it happen. I failed. I did not achieve what I set out to achieve. And trust me, I can live with that. I can live with the consequences of my decisions should they be bad. But I'd be damned that I'm going to live with the decisions that I set back and let happen to me because I was too afraid. I was too lazy. I did not have what I call a free mind. I was not thinking for myself. Do not be that person. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, each and every one of you have been made by our Creator special. I promise you, you have some talent, some ability. I've always told my children, I call it the edge. And by my definition, the edge is a talent or an ability that not everybody necessarily has. And this edge, as I call it, will allow you to better yourself, will allow you to work for yourself, will allow you to pull yourself up from poverty and become a well-off individual with freedom, being able to accomplish things, being able to take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your community, give back to your community, give back to your church. The sky is unlimited when you have the means to help other people and to help yourself, quite frankly. But that is not going to be a reality if you choose not to have a free mind and you choose to simply sit back and just let things happen to you. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Again, no one's coming to rescue you. You have to be your own superhero. You have to get up every day. You have to dress for success. You have to act like a successful person acts. You have to get up. You have to wake up. You have to show up, and you have to work. If you have any questions for me, as I told you earlier, feel free to reach out to me. I'd like to hear your feedback. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to give you advice, give you feedback. I'm happy to help coach you to make your life the life that you want to live. You can always reach out to me at my email address, which is simply ReachJRDukes@gmail.com. That's ReachJRDukes@gmail.com. You can always visit my website at jrdukes.com. The best thing to do is just simply email me, and I will always get right back to you. And you can always comment below. I definitely respond to all my comments, and I'd love to hear from you. And remember, always free your mind and never give up. I am J.R. Dukes.